question is regarding fuel economy, and different states are trying to set their own standards for fuel economy. What's your view on that versus a national plan?
I'm torn on the issue because I am at heart a federalist that believes that the states should make decisions as to what happens within their states. Offshore drilling is an example. I think we ought to do offshore drilling. The state of California may decide not to. The state of Florida, it appears their governor and the majority of their citizens want to. But it also is complicated because every state doesn't manufacture automobiles and they don't stay within their states. I want to see Rick and the other leaders of the big three sit down with the governors and say, okay, what is it that you actually need, and here's what we can do. That's my ideal solution. But it's hard for me to tell states that they can't impose in their own states the whatever standards that would apply within their state. So I have to say, I guess at the end of the day, I support the states being able to do that, but I also think that there's no reason why we shouldn't be able to sit down and work this out. And at the same time, we in Congress feel it is within our authority to set emission standards, as you well know, or excuse me, mileage standards. So at the end of the day, I think the state should make the decisions, but I don't see why we have this clash that goes on, and I hope we can work this thing out. And I think that part of this vote may make that discussion academic.
As a Catholic male, I'm adamantly pro-life. Not sure whether you're aware, but we've had a series of events take place. A number of unborn fetuses were found in a dumpster in a local abortion clinic, illegally dumped there. Between Roe v. Wade and the lesser-known court case of that day, Doe versus Bolton, embryonic cell, the unproven science of embryonic cell research, the moral implications of human cloning. Come November, I'm hoping to pull the lever for somebody that will fight for the rights of the unborn. And can I count on you to fight for the rights of the unborn?
Yes, you can. I believe the noblest words ever written are that all of us are created equal and endowed by our Creator with certain inalienable rights. Among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. And I think that applies to the unborn as well as the born. I have a long and consistent record of support for the unborn and a right to life, and I'm proud of that record. And I would point out that Senator Obama, when he was a member of the Illinois State Legislature, in their Judiciary Committee, there was a vote on a ban of partial birth abortion, one of the most gruesome procedures ever, partial birth abortion, and he voted against a ban on partial birth abortion. So there's a clear choice between myself and Senator Obama. I have a long record of advocacy for and voting for the rights of the unborn, and I'm proud of that. And I'm proud to be called Right to Life. Thank you. Yes. Yes, sir.
Senator, as you may know, General Motors is currently the leader in the production of E85 flexible fuel vehicles, such as the best-selling Impala. And E85 has already proven itself to be one of the most cost-effective ways to both reduce CO2 emissions and reduce our dependence on foreign oil. As president, what would you do to improve E85 availability, create the right E85 infrastructure, and possibly create an incentive to purchase E85 capable vehicles?
I'd like to see us embark on making every automobile manufactured in America flex fuel. The Brazilians have been able to do exactly that, as you know. And the Brazilians have been able to eliminate their dependence on foreign oil, not just because of that, but it's been a very key element. As you also know, they use sugar cane-based ethanol. I don't support ethanol subsidies, and I didn't at the time, and it's distorting the market. And most experts today will say that because we subsidized ethanol, it has distorted the market and contributed to now the inflationary pressures in our country, which are very, very dangerous, to say the least. So I'm all for encouragement and whatever is necessary to make sure that every vehicle is flex fuel, that every gas station has a pump that says E85 on it, and it's clear to me that ethanol, corn-based, as well as sugarcane-based, as well as biofuels, as well as other alternative sources of energy are come onto the market, that they may be made available. And I would devote a lot of my efforts into that direction. And again, not invented here. The Brazilians have been able to do that, and we should be able to do that as well. But and again, in straight talk, I did not support the ethanol subsidies. I do not support the high tariffs of 55 cents a gallon on imported ethanol, which is sugarcane based, because I think that that distorts the market, and I think evidence is pretty clear that it already has. Yes, sir.
Has the science of man-made global warming really been proven? And if we go down the road of cap and trade, where we have to regulate and tax the carbon emissions from the consumer level, also the corporate level, how can that possibly help a great company like General Motors?
Well, first of all, I do believe that climate change, that there's sufficient evidence for us to take action. And let me just put it this way with you. Suppose that I'm wrong, even though I've been around the world and seen the evidence of climate change. I've traveled usually at your expense, and I've been to the South Pole, I've been to the Arctic, I've been to Greenland, I've been all over, and I believe that climate change is real, and that's the preponderance of scientific evidence. It's not the unanimity of scientific evidence. So suppose that I am wrong and there's no such thing as climate change, but we go ahead with the vote. We go ahead with clean technologies. We go ahead and build 45 nuclear power plants by 2030, which, by the way, will employ 700,000 people, so that we have clean emissions. Suppose we do all those things, then all we've done is handed our kids a cleaner planet. But suppose we are right and do nothing. And here's where I differ from a lot of experts. I believe that this technology is going to be the living proof that we can address the issue of greenhouse gas emissions, improve our economy, adopt green technologies, and that'll be the best thing that can happen to our economy, because we're the most innovative, we're the most entrepreneurial and best system in the world, where our workers and our ability to pursue technologies is unmatched in the world. So it's my view that the new light bulb that many of you have purchased, it's my view that nuclear power plants, it's my view that all kinds of innovative green technologies, including solar, which is making dramatic advances. I was with Governor Schwarzenegger not long ago, and he and I have many similar attributes, and I was over in California with him, and we visited a plant where they make solar panels that are almost paper thin. You remember what they used to be? The huge, gigantic things that you worried about that was going to cave in your roof. So there is enormous advances in technologies. And I hate to go back to the bowl, but I also visited, Rick, with a couple of guys from Silicon Valley that had developed an electric automobile. I know you know them. The good news is they developed an electric automobile. The bad news is it cost $100,000. The second generation that they have is going to cost $60,000. So, but we're going to see, anyway, so my point is that I believe that part of the future economy of the United States of America is going to be based on this green technology. We're the best. We can lead, and we have the innovative skills and abilities to do so.